Hello, my name is Lauren Von Elm, and today we will be going over one of the videos in the Gemini Home Entertainment horror series, analog horror series on YouTube. Specifically, I'm going to be going over the astronomy in that video and what it gets correct and incorrect, and some other bits and pieces as we go along. So this video, specifically, we're going to be looking at our solar system, the video, in that series. By the way, this horror series is created by, well, they go by the alias Remy Abode. We don't know their real name. They'd like to remain anonymous. Fair enough. So this specific video was posted on January 23rd, 2020. So great start to the year. So let's just jump right into the video. So as it sort of brings in the little title screen and everything, Gemini Home Entertainment. Something of note is that they always start with the logo, which is actually this blue planet, this like blue, purpley, really pretty colored planet. Oh, by the way, if you haven't watched the video, I highly recommend either watching the video before you listen through the rest of this video, because I'm going to be spoiling this video, and it's just an amazingly made video. Highly recommend it. Or you can watch it after you've gone through. I know that's what I like to go do. Listen to what happens into the video and then go see the real video. Just personal preference. But so uh, it doesn't appear to be like it's definitely not it's not an exact it's definitely like a planet of their sort of own creation for the logo. Like it's not Neptune. It doesn't match up. It's not We'll get to the planets later. I can't remember the planets off the top of my head, of course. So starting off, we actually start with the sun, not the planets. So the first thing we go over is the sun, situated 149 million miles away. The sun provides light for our entire solar system. This is actually false. It's actually about 93 million miles. It's probably an honest mistake at that part. I think that's actually closer to how many kilometers or something. Or maybe it's like a radius versus diameter thing. It's easy to get this type of stuff mixed up. Fair enough. So so there's two pieces of information that's given for each planet, or in this case, our star. So I'll just be talking through them. Without it, Earth would be a barren, frozen rock. I'm assuming correct, yeah. If without the sun, the planets wouldn't have happened. We'd have nothing to orbit around. Well, there would be no life on Earth. Without the sun, there'd be no Earth. Um, so the next planet we go over is Mercury, and it says, as one of the smallest planets in our solar system, Mercury is also the hottest. This is false. Actually, I was very surprised by this. It's actually the smallest planet in our solar system nowadays. They do include Pluto in this video, because it's supposed to be set in a time where analog horror or analog technology is the most prevalent, and Pluto was declassified to become no longer a planet in 2006 or 2004. I think I have that in my notes, but anyways, so um, yeah, as one of the smallest planets in our solar system, uh, also Venus is actually the hottest planet in our solar system due to its dense atmosphere. That was really interesting to learn. So the next quote is, "It sits precariously close to the sun and only takes 87 days to orbit around it." It's actually like 88 days according to NASA, but like I can see like if you're going to different websites where they might round up or down, it's depends on where you got it from. It's close enough. Very, very close. 88 days. So, I'd give them a pass on that. Could be rounding error due to their own work or different sources work, whatever it is. So, next up, we're going to Venus. As the second brightest object in the night sky, Venus can sometimes be seen from Earth. The brightness of this can actually vary. So, it could be right, depending on where you are, what time it is, however bright or dim it is. it could be the second brightest object in the sky. It might not be. So, saying that it's the second brightest thing all the time is not correct, but it's mostly true. It's pretty true. So the next quote is the average surface temperature of the planet is 462 degrees Celsius. This is accurate. So good job on that. Next up, Earth. So the first bit of information they give us, hooray, our favorite home planet. Earth is one of the only planets in our solar system capable of supporting life. One of the only planets? That's not, like, maybe wording there. It is the only planet in our solar system, at least in our universe, Gemini Home Entertainment, you know, alternate horror dimension stuff, so whatever, but um Earth is the only planet we know of that is capable of supporting life. So, yeah. The next quote is with 71% of the planet surface covered in water, it's a miracle we can all fit. This is accurate. As a marine biology major, I like that little detail. Moving on, we have Mars. The first quote from Mars is often called the red planet. Mars is a mostly barren desert world. Which, yeah, it's a pretty accurate description from what I could find. It's rocky, dry, and bitter cold. So pretty close, yeah. The next quote, pieces of Mars have fallen to Earth in the form of meteorites, which is true. That is accurate. It's very interesting to find that out. As of September 2020, 277 meteorites have been classified as Martin. So that was really interesting to learn about. So to note, during this bit, like the last bit of that text being on screen, as they transition, there's like heavy glitching as like this fuzzy object kind of appears and disappears next to Mars. I That happens. Next up, Jupiter. Jupiter's first quote is as a gas giant, Jupiter has no solid surface, which makes it impossible to stand on, which is accurate. Cool. The next quote is the largest spot on the planet is known as the giant red spot. It is not an eye. Um, Accurate? It's not an eye. It's a gigantic storm that's about twice the size of Earth and has been going for like over a century. Um, and as they and then the transition kind of goes fuzzy, it kind of glitches, and that text that says it is not an eye changes from it's not an eye to it is an open wound. Um, how do you wound a gas giant, for one thing? Uh, it's a storm, not an open wound. But like, wow, this is fun world building. So our next planet is Saturn. Although mostly a gas giant, there may be a large solid core deep inside the planet. So yeah, yeah, there is. Next quote is the planet's prominent rings are quite a sight to behold. They are the gateway. I don't believe gateway is a technical astronomical term. Um, so it does have rings though. That is true. Uh, and as we go to transition from this one, in the upper corner, right around here, a planet, a different planet kind of fades into the corner as if it is approaching Saturn. Whoo! Um, it doesn't it kind of maybe looks like Uranus, but in my personal opinion, it looks a lot more like that planet on the logo. So, oh, next page of notes. Whew, getting deeper and deeper into the mysteries. So our next planet is Uranus, or Uranus. I believe that's how you pronounce it. The first quote is, "This planet is classified as an ice giant and is the coldest planet in our solar system," which is accurate. It's the coldest with a minimum temperature of negative 224.2 degrees Celsius. You might want to bring a jacket and some gloves and a hat for that. Uh, it is called an ice giant. That is a technical classification, so good job on that. The next quote is, "Unlike most planets, Uranus rotates on its side." True. Its axis is tilted at a 97.77 degree angle. So hey, looks like we're back to normal with the planets. So the next planet we're going to is Neptune. And the first quote is, "A large storm rages in the planet called the Great Dark Spot. It is the lens." Ah, back to it. The Great Dark Spot is a anti-cyclonic storm, kind of like Jupiter's big red spot. It again, I don't believe lens is a technical term in astronomy, so spookiness abound. Its next quote is, "Neptune has been mutated," and then the photo of the planets. So for context, if you haven't watched the video yet, for one, go watch it. Because this is about to get crazy, and it might be best to have a visual reference for what I'm trying to say here. But the photo kind of twitches, turns, and then something begins to open. It looks like an eye beginning to open, is how I can best describe it. Like, you don't see it fully open, but it starts to open. Something on the surface of Neptune begins to open. Oh, um, what? Next planet is the Iris. I don't believe I remember learning about a planet called the Iris in elementary school, or middle school, or high school, or this class. So, the Iris, its quote is, "It is with us now," which I personally would prefer if it left. And its next quote is, "Laughing at us." So it is with us now, laughing at us. And as far as I'm aware, and that I could find online, planets cannot laugh. So. And then the image of the planet, like, distorts, is how I can best describe it. And it starts to look around. Like, it is an eye that is darting around. Then it looks at you. It looks at you. Sees you. And then the screen kind of blacks out. The next quote is, "Behold." And then we see an image of Neptune again, and from the great dark spot on Neptune, a beam of bright blue light is shot out into space towards the sort of direction of the sun, is what we see in a second shot a few seconds later. And it's very heavily implied that this is headed towards Earth, that this beam thing is heading towards Earth. At least that's the implication, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, I don't believe planets can cosplay as Death Stars. So yeah, I don't think planets cosplay as Death Stars, as far as I'm aware. Or shoot lasers. but like it's cool horror. This is an amazing video. Cause then we go from that right into Pluto. Pluto's first quote is, as the smallest planet in our solar system, Pluto is only 1,188.3 kilometers in radius. Um, yeah, Pluto is in here. It's no longer classified as a planet, but um, in diameter, it's about half the width of the United States, or 2/3 the width of the moon. Um, which is, yeah, it's the measurements are accurate. Um, and then the second quote is, although it hangs at the edge of our solar system, this planet isn't going anywhere. So the time frame for this tape was definitely made before 2006. Um, yeah. Sorry, buddy. Sorry, Pluto. We kind of kicked you to the curb. Yeah, we kind of kicked him to the curb, but also like maybe it's an implication of like, because the Iris was before that, so the Iris went past Pluto, so it's not going anywhere. It's staying there. All the other planets, who's sure? We're not sure where they're going, because again, we kept seeing things fade in to the corners or besides different celestial objects, so what's moving? Ooh, you know, where are they going? Um, but yeah, that's all of my notes I have on the Gemini Home Entertainment video, Our Solar System. Um, I hope you've enjoyed my little go through the video and my analysis of what they got right and wrong. Um, I think they did really well, especially considering, the little bits and pieces that they put in for the horror element, of course. Um, but yeah, I think this was relatively pretty well researched. There were little bits and pieces here and there that could have just been from a little bit of a, not, possibly printed from a book that wasn't quite right, or from outdated information that they used, so it'd be more accurate. But regardless, it was a very pretty well researched video, and this is a 5-minute video. If I recall correctly, it's about 5 minutes. I would recommend it to anyone who is interested in analog horror, along with the rest of those videos from Gemini Home Entertainment. I will be going over the other celestially focused video. I forget the name of it in that series. So, I cannot wait to get around to that next week. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye!